These beans, which most Americans have never seen, are a better protein source for weight loss, satiety, and general health than chicken. I know the gym guys are going nuts right now, so just hear me out. I lost 110 pounds, and protein was one of the biggest things in how full I felt, how much I ate, and how long I could sustain the whole thing. Protein helped me retain muscle while I was losing weight, which overall makes weight loss easier and is just good for you in the long term. Genuinely, it's harder to regain that muscle back after you lose weight. And for a lot of people, this is very true. Protein is not just a fad. It feels like it right now because it's in everything, and that stuff is actually a fad. It's marketing. But outside of that, a lot of people's go-to for protein is chicken. It's the main source for a reason. It's ultra lean protein, low fat, low calorie, high protein. It's everywhere. But I found something that I think does the job better. And I want to show you why exactly. This is a lupini bean. And by the end of this video, if you haven't heard of this, you're going to be annoyed that it took you so long. Now, let me be specific of what I mean by better. I'm not talking about raw protein grams. Chicken breast wins that comparison. What I'm talking about is something more practical, especially when it comes to weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight. Protein per calorie, satiety, blood sugar impact, and how easy it is to actually eat these every single day. Because I know a lot of my gym bros that eat chicken every day and it has to get boring. And something like this is incredibly easy and super tasty. So let me walk you through the actual comparison. This is my lunch, so I have to film this and then eat this in a bit. Lupini beans, also called lupins or turmus, I believe, in the Middle East. These are seeds from the lupinous plant. They are in the legume family, same as chickpeas, lentils, edamame. They've been eaten in the Mediterranean and South American cultures for thousands of years. In Italy and Portugal, they're likely street food. You can just grab them out of a jar while you're watching a game. Very common. But in America, they're almost unheard of, which is genuinely wild to me because these things nutritionally are pretty incredible and unusual. Cooked lupini beans come in at 119 calories per 100 grams, with roughly 15 to 16 grams of protein. Now that's cooked from home, and I'll talk about that because that is a process. Jarred lupini beans typically have less protein. Not much less, just a little less. Chicken breast is 165 calories per 100 grams with 31 grams of protein. So pure protein, chicken breast wins. I'll give the gym bros that. But lupini beans have significant dietary fiber, where chicken has zero. And the fiber here is doing something very important that I'll get to here in a little bit. Really quick, let me tell you about today's sponsor. This is my 10th year on YouTube, and for the last 9 years, I was making all food content. After losing 110 pounds and getting into shape, I wanted to talk about health and nutrition a little bit more. I recently rebranded and changed the name to Mark Stache. All of the videos are now about health and wellness from my perspective in my mid-40s. And I'm currently taking a course to become a certified nutrition coach. So that way you can feel confident that I know about the stuff that I'm talking about, beyond just my own experiences. And that's why I wanted to introduce you to ISSA, the International Sports Science Association, which is today's sponsor. The ISSA is a leading science fitness education organization. They offer certifications in personal training, nutrition, and wellness, with over 30 years of experience. If you're looking to transition to a new career or break free of the gig economy, and you're passionate about nutrition, sports, or fitness, this is a great option. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. Learning about health and nutrition has changed everything for me. My life is completely different in so many better ways. It feels like a whole new world, and I'm just so excited to be able to share that with you and be certified to do it. ISSA's certifications are 100% online, self-study, self-paced. I've been doing it for a few months. I only have a few chapters left. I'm pretty excited to take my test, I think next month. You can study anywhere. All you need is your phone, tablet, or computer. And the final exam is open note, open book, and you can take it from home. The pass rate is very high, and ISSA will give you a free retake should you need it. When you join ISSA, you'll be part of a bigger community of over 500,000 professionals. You can run into ISSA people anywhere, and they're super passionate about helping people reach their goals. So go to joinissa.com/saucestache, my old name. It's linked in the description. And use code SAUCESTACHE to get $100 off your nutritionist certification. You've wanted to make a change long enough, it's time to do something about it. Now, here is where the better than chicken case actually gets made. When I was losing weight, the number I cared most about was not protein. It was hunger, if you could put a number to that. How long am I going to make it between meals to where I feel like I need to grab a snack or grab some more food? Because that is really the game here. You can have the perfect macro plan and then blow it if you're too hungry to stick to it. And trust me, I've been there, I've done that. It's hard. There's a 2016 randomized study, Food and Nutrition Research, where researchers compared legume-based meals to meat-based meals of equal protein content. The legume group reported higher fullness, lower hunger, and ate 12% fewer calories at their next meal compared to the meat-based group. 12% on autopilot. That is no willpower required. That's just naturally doing it. The reason is the fiber-protein combination. Protein triggers satiety hormones. Fiber slows down digestion and extends how long those hormone signals last. Chicken gives you that protein hit. The lupini beans signals both, and at fewer calories per serving. There's also a separate 2025 randomized crossover study out of this university that specifically compared beans to beef in older adults and found that satiety was not significantly different. In that study, beans kept people just as full as beef. So the satiety argument isn't that lupini beans are magic. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's that gram for gram of food volume, lupini beans will keep you fuller longer than chicken, with fewer calories. And for anyone trying to lose weight, maintain weight loss, continue holding on to muscle mass, that can feel like magic. And that is an actual metric that matters. Now, I know someone in the comments is going to bring this up. Protein quality isn't just about grams. There is the protein digestibility amino acid score. That measures how completely your body can digest the protein that's in your food. Animal proteins tend to score around or above 1, meaning they're pretty much being fully utilized. Lupini beans come in around 0.6 to 0.7, which is not bad. It's pretty good. And leucine, the amino acid in protein that is mostly linked to triggering muscle protein synthesis. It's lower in lupini beans than it is in chicken. So if your primary goal is to maximize muscle growth, lupini beans on their own might not be the trigger. But this is where that research goes off the wire a little bit. The research on leucine thresholds for muscle retention during a calorie deficit is incredibly forgiving. You need enough total protein across the day, not necessarily a single perfect source of protein. That's old research. And the DIAAS scores improve when you combine plant proteins across meals. Throw some lupinis into a bowl of other legumes, edamame, quinoa, or even here like I did with chickpeas, and the amino acid profile starts to look a heck of a lot better and make a meaningful difference. So I'm not saying to make lupini the only protein source in your life. This is just a very good protein that you can add to many different meals, coming up with multiple different flavors without thinking too hard about it. Now this next bit surprised me. A study in Frontiers in Physiology did a direct comparison, lupini protein versus whey protein, measuring blood glucose and insulin response in healthy adults. Lupin supplementation blunted post-meal blood sugar spike by 54% in the first 60 minutes compared to whey. A separate trial found in PubMed found that type 2 diabetics, lupin actually produced a lower insulin response than soy protein at an equivalent dose. Now this whole thing is pretty much comparing lupini beans to chicken, and chicken has 0 glycemic index, and it doesn't affect your blood sugar at all. But the active blood sugar regulation from lupini beans, that's doing something completely different. The specific protein compound in lupini, something called gamma-congluten, appear to enhance insulin sensitivity directly. That's not something you're going to find in animal-based proteins at all. That is a lupini specific thing. For anyone managing their weight long term, and blood sugar regulation is a part of that, this matters. Now, before we go any further, you cannot eat lupini beans raw. You can't eat them improperly prepared. Dried lupini beans contain a bitter alkaloids which can cause toxicity if not removed. Traditional prep is a multi-day soaking and washing, essentially draining and replacing salted water twice a day for 5 to 7 days. There is actual medical literature on this, and it is worth taking seriously. The easy path and what I like to use, jarred lupini beans. They're already prepped, ready to eat. You can just eat them right out of the jar. You can cook them even longer if you want them more tender, but they're just ready to go. There's multiple brands. They're already safe to eat, and you can find them in a lot of places. Walmart is now carrying them. And there's actually a lot of really unique things with lupini. I haven't tried these yet, but I've been wanting to kind of dive into them a little bit more. These are lupini flakes, 12 grams of protein, 10 grams of fiber for 80 calories. That seems pretty incredible. You can substitute them for rice, oats, lentils, quinoa. I mean, pretty solid. And then this is actually just a ground lupini. You can actually use this in making pancakes and like flour replacement. Same thing, this is 110 calories, 14 grams of protein. Now you can eat them just out of the jar, washed off. You can toss a little bit of olive oil, sea salt, done. They're firm, they're good to go. They have a really nice bite, really nice chew. I've been adding them into pastas. Super good with a pasta. It's like, they're firm, they're slightly chewy, they're a little nutty. To be honest, they kind of have like a slight Parmesan cheese kind of taste to them, but that's just my taste. They're super versatile. Now again, I don't want people to completely disregard me. If you're just looking for pure raw protein, chicken does win that argument, but that is the only argument that it wins at. But lupini wins for literally everyone. Satiety per calorie, lupini wins. Active blood sugar regulation, lupini wins. Fiber, cost, prep time, variety, lupini wins. And that last part matters more than a lot of people think about. Sustainable long-term weight loss and health isn't about finding the one perfect food. I see a lot of videos about this one food. It's about finding enough good foods where you can have enough variety to be able to eat different things, still be able to enjoy the foods that you're eating, and being able to do that forever without going back to the things that were the problem in the first place. You don't want to get bored and quit. And any of my bodybuilder friends or whatever that I know that have gone on the chicken breast for cuts, they are losing their minds by the end of it. So I wanted to introduce it to you so that way you have another fantastic source of protein to add variety to your meals. For 110-pound weight loss and keeping it off, the thing I wish I had more of was options. Foods that were easy, filling, cheap, and didn't require me to stand over a stove every night of the week. These fit that. It's not a marketing hype. They're just a food that most of the world has been eating for thousands of years and for some reason has been left out of the United States of America. So do me a favor, grab the jarred version first, rinse them, toss them with a bit of salt, throw them in just a handful of them into some of your meals, and then tell me I'm wrong. If you already know about lupini and you have ways that you like to make them, honestly, these make a fantastic hummus. Just make them exactly like hummus, except replace these with chickpea, and you have a super high protein hummus that is just phenomenal. But if you have other ways of making these, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear your arguments. I believe I tackled everything. If this is the kind of thing that you find useful, give me a subscribe. That's the whole channel. I'm finding stuff that works, and I tell you about it. Enjoy your lupini.